was just listening to your remix. What is the new version of Welcome to Horrorwood? Is it Under Fire? What is this release that was just like last week or something?
It's a deluxe issue of the album, reissue of
Okay.
the album with a new song called Meet and Greet, which is an ode to Dr. Lecter.
Mm.
And it includes that new song, an acoustic version of the shower scene, a sort of house remix of Rainy Day, which is really cool because I don't even like that kind of music. Like, I don't like EDM, but I
Mm.
liked what this guy did with it. And
Who was that?
also, his name's Splinter.
Okay.
Goes by Splinter. I don't think that's his given name, but
Are
it's
you
like,
sure?
like a Neo kind of a thing, you
Splinter.
know?
Splinter was the rat in Ninja Turtles, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So
The
it could
very
have been
wise,
yeah.
and he's very similar um, in terms of he's very frail, like Splinter. So when
But
I,
that's all you
yeah,
really need when you're pushing buttons
yeah,
and
yeah,
swapping records, right? Like it's all right
yeah.
here.
So we met him at Intelligentsia, and he kind of came in
Just
like
came in.
that. And I said, I don't need it. I don't need to hear more. Let's get you in the studio. And he fucking nailed it, you know, just
It's a
because,
wise
right. Because the
choice.
buttons are made
He's
for
got a
when you,
fader right here. He's got a couple
hmm
buttons, a couple records. I'm sure going back and forth.
he
And it
killed
was
it.
on
And
rainy day. It was on rainy day because I just listened. I went on a jog before we started this. I gotta get my jog on in the morning sometimes,
of
especially if
course,
I'm going to be drinking this early. So I like to get that done first, and
before the
then
mescaline.
before it kicks in. I mean,
Yeah.
I take the mescaline first, but then I start the jog. So I get a runner's high and a mescaline high at about the same mile. It's down to a science at this point.
Very Jordan Belfort of
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was listening to it because I was like, wait a minute, and then I didn't get to the deluxe part of it yet. My run was not long enough apparently, so I didn't hear those things yet. But I was listening back to it because it had been a while. I mean, 2 years ago that record was just coming out when you were on the show,
Yes.
and I
That
was
week, I
singing the
think.
praises. Yeah, it came out that week, and I was singing the praises. And since then, I've been able to. I mean, it came out that week, so I was just fresh with it. But since then, I've texted you numerous times over, like when I'm listening to it, just going back to that album. It's so fucking good. Like
Thank you, man.
it still holds up to me. I can't believe I forgot to start listening to it before Halloween. I'll be playing it in the background tomorrow night. And I just got to ask, like, it's been a couple years now. Are you working on new music, or you got something coming next year?
Yeah, well, we've been working the last couple months on that new song that we put out on the
Mm-hmm.
reissue, and we've kind of just been over the last 3 or 4 months working on the conclusion to our the movie that we set up with Welcome to Horrorwood, which we just premiered in L.A. at this cool Ricardo Montalban theater. Who I remember Ricardo Montalban from being the villain in the original Naked Gun. Remember, he's I must kill the
Oh,
queen. He's
that's
setting
him?
up the that's him.
Okay.
Remember, and Leslie
I,
Nielsen
I'm I'm
burns
really bad
his
with actors' names and shit, so like it goes by. But I mean I know the Naked Gun. I just rewatched it not that long
so
ago too.
good. He's
God,
the
when he
guy
becomes
that
an
has the
empire.
penthouse.
Yes.
Yes. And they even reference Emperor Horito in that same movie.
The same man who gave you the whiskey?
Same man. Well, it was his father at that time
Ah,
because that was in the 80s. But they're all Emperor Horito to me.
ah. Okay.
Um, but yeah, the movie premiere was great. We had Bill Moseley reprise his role as Captain Harris, who's hot on my
Sick.
tail after the brutal dismembering of my fiance. And yeah, it was really cool because I'm a musician. We're not really filmmakers, but to be in the theater and to see the reaction live and see, oh, this joke worked better than this joke or this landed and we didn't think, it would work that well. It was cool. It was cool to kind of pretend to be a little bit of a filmmaker in that regard.
Yeah. No, I mean you guys have always done a good job, or you've done a good job with the music videos too. So I think that's a good transition into it. And the way that you guys had built this story throughout the entire album cycle, right? I think that was really good and really, really smart. And probably, I mean, you could speak to it better than I. It probably set you up for finishing the a full motion picture out of it, right?
Absolutely. And that's already something we're thinking about, and we're excited to get back after this next tour within this moment and basically write the whole winter. Just take off the winter and put pen to pad.
Awesome, man! I can't wait to hear
But
what happens there. You said you're going to be out with in this moment. Where are you going through Southern California at all?
no, unfortunately not. It's more East Coast, Midwest.
Mm,
Um, Couple Metallica shows thrown in for good measure.
mm.
If you want to fuel up the jet, come. You're always welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I might need to fuel up the jet. It's been a while since I took it out anyway, so it's probably time.
I think it's time to get it off the runway.